Hey guys, Big 8L here, and today we're going to be watching another ZVT that I had. I'm going to be the red Zerg in the left side, and John is going to be our blue Protoss on the right. I have been exclusively double proxy hatching people, but into macro games, and this was a pretty good one, so we're going to go ahead and check it out. You just do drones and overlords at the beginning, and then about now send a drone to the third base. Or actually, no, this drone is going to go irritate the Terran however it can. Mess with this SCV, mess with this SCV, mess with any of the SCVs. Really, it's a personal favorite pastime of mine to make the workplace as hazardous as possible for these guys. So he's gonna come in, annoy the worker. Meanwhile, this drone is gonna go take the third base. With Terran, you come and obviously harass the workers. Normally, with the other races, I send this guy out later because he's just here to make a proxy hatch. If you do come in here and annoy them, make sure that you do not lose this drone. When people pursue it and you need to put down the proxy hatch, you can take a gas or you can do the little trick where, like, as it hits you, it slows down and you speed away. Meanwhile, get a spawning pool and two gases. I keep trying to put down a hatchery, but he keeps getting too close, so I keep trying to do the little trick where, like, as he hits you, he decelerates, and then I can't take the gas because he took the gas before I could. When you take the gas, it's no longer an enemy, so the guy stops attacking and you can get away from him. Instead, I just had to actually pull that little maneuver off correctly, and then I get enough space to get the hatch down. Now, you may wonder what the fuck is the point of this hatch. This is super dumb. It's so late, it's not going to do anything. It's not supposed to do anything for me besides scare him and make him not pay attention to the fact that there's one over here. Sends the Reaper across to go see what's going on. Obviously, when there's a hatch in your base, shenanigans are afoot. Once this is done, I like to build two spines and a spore with drones, make a queen out of both of these hatches once they're done immediately. You're supposed to cancel this. I don't end up canceling it, but it really doesn't matter. I mean, it does matter quite a bit. It would have been nice to have all those resources back, but really you can treat this as just a thing to distract the Terran if you understand how to do this build, I guess. So Reaper comes in, gets a couple kills, sees that there's gases. I don't know if he spotted that roach warren. He did. So knows it's roaches and is just gonna go ahead and make sure that this dies. He's very, very happy about the situation. Nothing's popping out of these larvae, which is a little sus, but John's fine here. We've secured a natural. This hatch is totally done. And see how he built a bunker, and he's got SVs pulled. This is lowering his economy. This is money wasted. This is defenses set up at the wrong spot. But mostly it's just something that's making him not pay attention to the fact that, oh look, there's creep and 3 ravagers, and now a spore crawler coming down. We'll move up these spines soon enough. I started attacking the command center, and he's like, oh shit. Better put a tank over here. He already had a tank, which was very helpful. If he didn't already have a tank, this would be super fucked. He also understands where to put tanks against Ravagers. Is going to put this a little farther back. Yeah, that's not great. I could totally buy all that. A lot of Terrans in I'm in Diamond 3 don't know where to put, like, how far back they need to put tanks to not die to Ravagers. And so this rush just kills tanks all the time. Obviously you have to hit all of your vials, and me seeing that, it's worth it to have 2 Ravagers die if you can kill the first tank on this rush, absolutely. Because you can just make more roaches out of here and turn them into Ravagers real quick, but they're pumping out tanks one at a time. Meanwhile, back here, get a lair, take another hatch at some point. Actually, I took the other hatch up here at his gold base, because why not? If I can hold this and suck up the minerals from his gold, I both have a gold base, and I'm denying him a gold base. So, make some more roaches, send them up, get some more Ravagers to triple bile. While I have this one Ravager, I'm going to go ahead and just bile SCVs one at a time. A bile will one-shot an SCV, and obviously a Ravager can 1v1 an SCV if they're foolish enough to come down here alone. That supply block was clutch. He was not supply blocked and not producing tanks that whole time. The fact that I got more Ravagers out so slowly probably would have been really bad. But yeah, you use the initial Overlord that you sent over to their natural to spot for high ground vision so that you can just bile down this stuff. Because I can bile these 3 things without getting shot by the tank at all. Yeah. See, you just shoot it, and then unless they get close enough that you can hit them with Ravagers, you can pretty much kill everything in the front. So the best thing that I've seen against this is you don't have this wall, or you are just rushing BCs. I get Hydras eventually with this build. I probably might change it to just Roach Corruptor, because that seems like it's better anti-air, and later it seems like Broodlords are better than Lurkers, but I've been just playing with Hydras, so obviously, you know, like 4 Hydras that I have behind this aren't going to stop a battlecruiser. But if they just try and play Marine Tank, this is great, because I can just sit here, I can get stupid value with the biles, keep making roaches, reinforce this area. And, like, the tanks are scary, but you just don't walk into range of them. Now that the lair's done, we're going to get a Hydrogen. That way I have some anti-air. Just keep going in, launching biles. As you can see, I'm hitting both of these things right now by hitting the middle. Also, killing some SCVs trying to repair. I think that's going to finally end that. Yep, kill both of those. I did get a little too close and get shot by tanks though, which is not great, because obviously getting shot by tanks kills your stuff. You can, again, it is worth it to just send it up the ramp and lose a couple Ravagers if you can kill their tanks, because they're on one base and you're expanding, you're getting more money, roaches are nothing to you, but if they get a bunch of tanks up, they are going to be able to push you out. So just make sure you keep going in and one-shotting them every time, or with, like, just triple biling them every time they get too close. And then if they get a big ball of bio and want to push out, let them push into 2 Spore Crawlers and a bunch of Roach Ravager. Sounds great to me. Sounds a lot better than me walking into tank fire every time to do anything. Liberator's finally going to come across the map and do some counter damage. Excellently walks directly into a Spore, and Siege is up. Just going to pull the drones, tell the Queen to mosey on over from the front to go and deal with that. Meanwhile, just keep making sure that his tanks don't aggro in your whole army. It's very important. I should have moved those Spore Crawlers, or Spine Crawlers, back as the tanks got into range, but I was busy not losing all of these to his army. And now comes the best part of this. If you can, you want to get the creep tumors in these very corners, like here, 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 because when they scan, then they won't get that one, and they'll have to waste a bunch of scans from the one orbital command that they have, which aren't mules. So they have to scan. They have to kill this creep tumor to be able to take a base here. So they're gonna scan, you know, hopefully twice in the main base just to clear everything out, just to take their natural. And then if they're gonna go anywhere else, they're gonna have to keep scanning. Now this was probably the worst attack I made all game. I didn't even kill that, and then I come back in and I still don't even kill it. Which pretty much lost me all the trades that I took up here. Essentially that one took it from even to me being very far behind. Now, this is also a thing that was definitely not a good idea. I don't pay attention at all to the 12 drones or the base over here as they die. I'm too busy running in a couple roaches at a time to kill these tanks. So while I do lose literally everything over here, a handful of roaches are again able to reset his tank count. So, you know, a lot of drones die, probably just keep going back and forth and get gunned down by these guys, but tanks are killed, and I'm still rallying up forces, so now with those tanks gone, I'm thinking I might be able to just push in and kill him. So we're going to keep moving in, kill that reactor, try and take on this bio. But with the SUV pull, it's going to be enough that, like, there's more roaches, so we can kill this tank now that it popped, why not? And then fight all of this. We'll probably kill a bunch of SUVs, maybe win the fight. More Marauders, though. Marauders are pretty good against roaches, and he's still got more SUVs. Yeah, no, this isn't going to work. The Marauders are going to hold this, I think, at this point. So the best call would be to just pull back. I'm obviously still rallying in roaches, so we're going to at least kill that barracks. I'm going to give it a one more shot, but 3 Marauders can beat 4 roaches, so we're just going to pack it up and head home. And with that, his economy is devastated. My economy is a lot worse, because he killed everything over here and that base. But, you know, at the end of the day, I've still got 2 full bases. So, well, I had to move them because of the Liberator, but I've got a lot more drones. So I can just rebuild at different places, keep spreading creep, always remember to back spread your creep, because the most important thing about creep is that it gives you fishing. It's not that it gives you the speed buff. The speed buff is cool. There you go. It has to send another scan over there instead of dropping mules. Great. But the thing is that if you do this, they can't leave their base without you seeing them unless they go via medevac, where you can have like 2 overlords right here, and they literally can't leave without you knowing that they're leaving. And so you can just chill. You can go back, do whatever you want, macro up, and every time they leave, you'll see it on the minimap, so you can just react. And that's after all of this has already failed, and you're just going back to macroing. Just spread the creep, you know? You can chill up here. If they come out, you both know they're coming out, and you get a speed boost to attack them. Creep is pretty great. This Liberator is going to try and siege up on some roaches. The roaches somehow have the wherewithal to not stand underneath the Liberator. I personally thought roaches were dumb enough to just want to do a backflip in front of it and see if when they get shot they could go a couple hundred yards. Not super improbable. The Liberator does shoot very hard. I kind of wonder what size gun the Concorde cannon is. It's a laser gun, so I guess it wouldn't go by normal ballistic measurements, but I'm gonna say it's a solid, like, 100 millimeter cannon, but it's a laser, so not only does you just explode. I guess. Do lasers explode? They're just heated. They're just heat essentially. So I guess they would melt whatever they hit. It wouldn't really explode. Okay, well you're just dead then. It doesn't matter. 100 millimeters of laser. On the other side, we got him building more tanks, building more bio, building up a little bit of an economy. Back at my house, I'm pretty sure that if I just make upgrades, Hydra upgrades, roach speed, and get lurkers at some point, I'll probably be fine in a macro game. It's pretty close. He was down to 11 workers, but he's been coming back from that. I'm still at about double his worker count, and he's got no great prospects for expanding, but, you know, the supply is not terrible for a TVZ. I'm just meandering around the map, seeing what I can see, you know, see what can happen, see what you can get. Obviously, I can't push into 3 tanks and a bunch of bio, so these guys are going to be reprimanded for their idiocy and told to wait on the high ground with everyone else. Because if he does push out, I can just come down from up here and smash him. But in the meantime, it doesn't really need to happen. Just keep getting upgrades, he's going to keep getting tanks, keep getting bio. Now I got my gold base up on my side of the map, a little more protected over here, and we're gonna go Infestation Pit, Spire, and Lurker Den. Obviously, you can tell I macro like a beast and throw down my tech as soon as I possibly can instead of waiting and then throwing it all down at once. Um, but yeah, that'll cover all the bases. We can get Hive, we can stop battle cruisers, and then obviously lurkers are going to make this situation unbelievably fucked for this guy because pushing out of this into lurkers sounds like hell. So you know what? Let's do that. Um, the more immediate thing also is because he has a shit ton of bio. Besides Hive, I just want some infestors because if I could hit a fungal on this, we're money. The tanks alone cannot stop you. And now here's a really big thing that kind of is annoying about this. He tries to send out drops, he tries to send out liberators, but there's nowhere you can go where I can't see you. Like unless you made a Viking and killed this, which is what I do every time. I pretty much make a Viking first, no matter what. But yeah, I can see you with these overlords. I can see him if he comes out of here. So pretty much all of his harassment, I don't know why he turned left there, but I did have queens. But all of his harassment just gets intercepted by me on the map because I know exactly where it is because of all the vision. You do have to keep an eye on the minimap, but the minimap lights up a lot more when you've surrounded their base and creep, obviously. Um, and so he returns home, lines up his tanks in quite a siege line. If I attacked into him, I would absolutely die. Like this would be a terrible fight. So you just don't do it. We're gonna lurker up the hill here and just hide on top, get some infestors ready, and if he wants to push into me, that's fine. But I absolutely have no need to push into this anymore. Um, I have been going mutas instead of hydras, but the mutas kind of just I don't know. Mutas are weird. They're really good at first, but then there's so many ways to counter them that they kind of just fall off. But you can just mass Hydra Lurker, and it's pretty hard unless they're going hard air. So he's going to start creeping his way forward, recognizing that at the 18-minute mark he might need a third base. Um, and I'm just going to keep getting 2-2. His plus one is almost done. I guess he couldn't afford to get both of them at the same time. And he's got a sensor tower, so he sees that there are enemies afoot up on the top here. I'm gonna hit a fungal, dissuade him from any further aggression, and then pull these lurkers back, so they don't just die to tank fire. And now this is kind of a hard spot for him, because if he spreads his tanks and pushes slowly, I can't really fight into him. But if he rushes me like this, then I can totally just fungal him and keep fighting. Now, obviously, you don't want to push all the way into all these tanks, but an exposed tank, we'll take that. We'll take a fight with a fungal force, and then you just pull back. You don't have to go all the way in. Two more liberators to hold down the fort. Creep continually tries to spread back. If at all possible, you want creep right here, and you want it to stay here all over the entire map. Lurkers pushing him back again. And, the tanks can slowly siege him down, but this is a rough... And I thought about it. I did. I was really considering full-on charging him. But I think better of it, because that's, like, the only way I could lose this game right now is running into 4 siege tanks, all of his bio, and 2 liberators. So we're gonna pull back. We're just gonna, meander around a little bit. Maybe come over from a different angle. And keep macroing up, take bases on his side of the map again. If he's going to be contained for so long, might as well suck up the resources that he'll even be able to. Probably take the back of the gold at some point. He's going to go ahead and lift his main and go to the third, not a great sign. And then he's also going to forget the fact that creep gives me vision. I can see you doing this. What do you think's gonna fucking happen when I see your whole army leave? I'm gonna go fucking kill your tanks. Again. And so, since his whole army is gone, I'm just gonna run up in here and kill all of the support that took him so long to build. The lurkers are gonna shred what they can. The Roach Hydra's just gonna smash literally everything over here because he left with his bio. Make some more lurkers, and now we're just gonna keep making Hydras and rally them in. Because I've broken the front, I'm pretty sure I can just flood the gates now. You know, this one tank's doing a lot right now, but it's not gonna be enough. And then the SCVs, the poor SCVs are pulled into a lurker fire, and it's over. It's all fucking over. It does go on for a little longer. He's over here getting cleaned up by Hydras, so I guess we'll just watch this last minute of his death from his POV.
Base is under attack. Base is under attack.
Very sad. Very sad. But yeah, that's my macro double proxy hatch. A lot of mistakes, obviously. I'm not perfect at it, but it's pretty fun. You can be really fluid with your contain as Zerg because you can move all of your static D. So you just slowly move it up as you spread creep to their nat, and then bust down the nat, and then hold it for as long as you can while you macro behind. But, you know, be careful with those drops that they send out, or like any harass. You're gonna need a couple queens back at your main bases to hold that off. Queens and spores, or maybe a spine. But yeah, hope y'all enjoyed. This was super fun. If you're still watching, then tell me what your favorite kind of Pop Tart is. Comment, rate, subscribe. Love y'all. See you later.